What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jordxn. I'm back on another vocal melody hack for you. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Look, so I got 5 tips for you to record better vocals at home. So the first tip I have for you is to check your levels. And what I mean by check your levels, like check your levels in your headphones to make sure your vocals are not too low, or make sure they're not too loud. You want to be able to monitor your levels to make sure you're getting a good quality recording, because if your headphones are too low, you know what I'm saying, you might be yelling louder than you should be, or rapping louder or singing louder than you should be. But if they're too loud, you might end up being lower than you should be. And the second part to checking your levels is checking your mic levels. So if your mic is up too high and you're yelling, the signal is going to come through distorted. And you don't want to have your level of the mic to be too low either, because if it's too low, it's going to record low, and then you got to do a lot of extra shit to turn the volume up on the vocals. So make sure you check your levels. The second tip I have for you is to make sure you have a pop filter or some type of isolation with your microphone, even if you have to make one. And the reason for that being is because you want to reduce the sounds that you get from the P's, right? The air bursts that come out with the P's. So like you wanna block that. So if you have a microphone that doesn't have no type of pop filter or like isolation or something to kind of like stop it from getting into the microphone, that's gonna fuck up the vocals. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to get all that unneeded air in your vocals, especially like when you're on your P's, man. Like you don't want that. So the third tip I have for you is to use headphones that don't have that much bleed. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by headphone bleed is what you would hear, like the beat being in there. So like headphone bleed would usually come from like if somebody's rapping and they got the headphone off, like one on one off, like you still getting like this little bit of sound that's gonna come out the headphone, and that shit has to go somewhere like in a microphone. So always make sure you want to have your headphones over your ear. You know what I'm saying? You want to have like something that's gonna be closed in. Sometimes headphone bleed is a problem, sometimes it's not. Some engineers prefer to have a little bleed depending on how they like the mix or like what it does, because sometimes it might add a little extra texture to it or something, but other times it's just gonna but sometimes it might just add extra noise, and extra noise is not good in all cases. You know what I'm saying? All right, so the fourth tip I have for you is to record at the right buffer size. This is very important. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I know people, they get latency issues. If you got latency when you're recording, it's because your sample rate, your buffer rate is too high. Never record at 2048. All right? Never record at 1024. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's too high. Never record too high. You know what I'm saying? That's where the latency comes from. All right, and the opposite to that is do not record too low. Do not record at 32. Like, don't record at 32 or 64. Most of the times, don't even record at 128, because most of the time people are using templates with all these plugins that's eating up hella CPU and all this other shit. Like, don't do that. All right, so recap: never record too high, never record too low. You kind of want to find the middle ground where it's comfortable for you to record without no latency and without no issues with saying like increased sample rate and all this other shit. Like, you don't want to have those problems. All right, so look, record at the right buffer size, like 256, 512. Those are two I record with all the time. All right, you record low, mix high, because when you record at something like 28 or 2048, you're gonna get a stupid ass latency, and you're gonna be like tripping. Like, that's a lot of people's problem, like for real. Like, I'm being honest. So the final tip I have for you is to record with effects, monitor your effects, all that good shit like that, right? And this being said, because a lot of people tell you that you're not supposed to record with Autotune, you're not supposed to record through compression, you're not supposed to record with reverb and all this other shit. Like, these be the people that have no industry experience at all. You know what I'm saying? They never been able to record a professional artist for real. So it's like they just think you just record raw vocals, then you just put auto-tune on it and it just magically fixes everything. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, if they ever got a chance to be in a studio session, they're gonna realize people use recording templates that's already set up with effects. You know what I'm saying? Because everything is about saving time and finishing songs faster. You know, and that's what you do when you record with shit. You know, so you can kind of already get an idea what it's gonna sound like in your head. So like a lot of people will be like, I want to be able to get it to sound like what I hear in my head, but it's not gonna do that if you're not recording with the effects that you hear in your head. So if you set a reverb up, set a delay up, record, drag and drop, you can kind of get an idea of like, oh damn, like, okay, this is what I kind of wanted to sound like. Maybe I should really say my drag this auto-tune word out more. But you can't really know that, but you know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna really know that if you're not recording with auto-tune, because at this moment you're gonna guess the whole thing, because most of the time you're not a professional singer. You haven't had song lessons and all this other shit, so you're not gonna sing in key. Auto-tune is gonna help you stay in key, force you to stay in key, because once you get out of key or fuck up a note, it's gonna let you know. It's gonna go bad. So if your auto-tune sounds bad, it's probably in the wrong key, wrong scale. But if it's in the right key, the right scale, and it sounds bad, it's because you're doing something wrong. Because auto-tune is about giving you the best vocal performance. Like, go watch the Antares like commercials, right? Or the ads or some shit. Like, the people are recording with it live in the studio. That's because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to use it in real time. It's a reason why Waves Tune Real Time exists. For you to use it in real time, not to apply it afterwards. And another thing that goes along with monitoring the vocals and shit like that is the fact, like, you'll know when you get too loud. All right, you'll know when you're too low. You'll know if something sounds distorted. You'll know if there's like extra shit going on in the background, because you'll hear everything that's going into the session. Because I know it's people that be like, I don't even want to hear myself on that rap, but they want to be able to sing and do all this other shit, and they don't really understand what recording is. All right, and last but not least, when it comes to recording with the effects, is you'll just have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have more fun. Like, when you hear the auto-tune, you'll catch a vibe and you'll just lock in if you really connect and have fun on the song. And it'll show in the music. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what music is, man. You just vibing, you putting feelings, emotions and shit into a song, into the recording process. So all I'm saying is, man, I want you to record the best vocals you possibly can at home, because I know a lot of people had to build home studios during the quarantine, during the pandemic, all this other shit. I mean, shit, you can record yourself, man. Like, it's possible. You can get great fucking vocals at home. It don't take a lot. You know what I'm saying? It really don't. But listen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Jordxn. I'm out of here, aight?